I've been around. Healthy? No, that's. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yes. Call to order this first regular meeting of the Borough Council of 2024. This is Borough. We pledge allegiance, etc. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. This meeting is being held in compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, advertised in retrospect in the bulletin board downstairs and in all official borough social media channels. I ask for those of you who are joining us here in person that you please put your cell phones on silent. If you need to speak with somebody while conducting business, please do so outside of council chambers. And we'll read the roll call.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Present.
Mr. McLuhan. Ms. Morales, President, Mr. Kernow. Mr. Sparagia.
Here.
Mr. Woods.
Here.
Have quorum, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Spanier, you're here this evening. We're going to wait for Mr. Walton to get here. He asked that we wait, so as soon as he gets here, we'll pop you back into the front of the agenda, okay? Not having that, we'll move to the public portion of the meeting. Anybody from the public who wishes to come forward and speak on this topic, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
So Dorothy Foley, 210 Westminster. I'm actually here because I wanted to see what Boy Scouts had to say and talk about our part in the process. Apparently there was a presentation about fencing and pond. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So thank you for considering doing work for us, the town. Ron Smith, who runs the Naturalist Club, is the person and the people who have planted all 4 of the pollinator gardens. So, and it's also right, it's kind of but that's been done over the past 5 or 6 years, 4 years, okay. Years. So I would say, like, you know, the first 2 are starting to look really good. There was one by Denise that we had to eradicate mugwort. We planted some native serviceberry trees there, and we ordered more seed to reestablish the pollinator garden. I think we spoke to him today. Ron isn't able to be here, but he and the green team, we do have some concerns about, you know, how we are going to be fencing in these 4 pollinator gardens. So Ron wasn't here, so he asked that we read this for him. And basically we would like to be part of the process, since they're the ones, Ron particularly, was part of why these pollinator gardens exist at all. So the green team, this is Ron. The green team has been working to improve habitat along the bike path for several years. Now with 4 pollinator gardens, there's a new one that was just planted recently, and the potential for more restored habitat. As you know, there's a lot of opportunity along the bike path to do things that will reclaim lawn and possibly, and I should really just be reading what Ron says. Let me get back to that. To discuss modifications, installations that affect access, improvement, and maintenance is short-sighted. These projects are like any other landscape initiative. It requires coordination and decision-making. Why is it that we were not brought in on this action during the planning phase? And that's an assumption. I don't know if that's the case. If there is a goal, shouldn't the group that established the project be part of the decision making? Ron, recommend suspending the proposal until discussion and communication occurs between interested parties. Thanks. Ron Smith. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? I don't mind, opening this up so that any information that you want to provide to Mr. Spanier once he makes his presentation. I will say this. And I don't know who, but I know that many of you have heard me talk about putting split rail fencing around those for, I don't know, maybe all 4 years we've been talking about this. This isn't a surprise. We've been talking about making this an Eagle Scout project for the entirety of the time pollinator gardens have been. So, I don't agree with Mr. Smith and his assessment that you guys have been unaware of this. Happy to work with you on this, but rope and falling down wood pieces at the corner is not a good look and not something that I think that we want. We'd like to have it demarked in some way, shape, or form. We've talked about split rail fencing. You'll see if you stick around that there will be a presentation that is something like that. With some sort of access that will be provided to continue to maintain it because we find it important. But to think that you're unaware of this, I think is not entirely true. Mr. Walton is here, so Mr. Fanny, you want to come up and make the presentation? Don't sit down, Sean. What should I do? Come on up, state your name, back to the record.
I'm Drew Spanier, speaking by the way. I'm a life scout. I'm here sitting for my project for Eagle. I did talk to Mr. Pratt about it. It's about pollinator gardens. As mentioned before. Let's see. We mentioned that we need a barrier around you. I do have options for that. So our first option is we do several 5-foot long barriers such as these around the length of the gardens, and it's pretty much that. There will be spacing for people to go like through it, I guess. Great. Yeah. So when it comes to actually then going into the ground, they'll be like about 2 feet in and about like 1.5 above ground. That way people don't exactly think they can just walk over and all that. And the second option we got is several 16 footers. They're like larger, just a couple more ground. Then taking apply the spacing, that way people can go through and all that. I guess, and how we're digging these into the ground, we're gonna use hole diggers, just follow them, I guess, take them. Of course, we will mark them beforehand. We'll just go in for you. When it comes to the actual fence, this is pretty much what it's gonna be. And so we had it like this, that way people can't exactly sit or stand on it. It's not something to sit through. What's that? I guess when it comes to cost. So each of the barriers here will be about $21. And for the larger gardens that we're doing, it's gonna be around like $672. And then for the smaller garden, it's further down. It'll be about 252. So in total, it would be about 930 for the whole thing. And this project in a whole will hopefully benefit the community by just protecting the pollinator garden from being torn down by lawnmowers and anything like that. And so that way the bees around there, if I ain't pollinators, you just go around and do their job. That's it.
I have a question for you.
Thank you. I appreciate the presentation. As you've heard, there's some people that are very passionate about pollinator gardens here in our community, and I support their passion. The one thing that I noticed, and I understand the concept of them only being so high, you know, when people sitting or standing on them, but I'm also concerned, I think they are a little low. I'd rather them be at about waist height. I mean, that's my personal opinion. Because I just think that those, as Councilman Fitzgerald was saying, those could be tripping hazards, those could be, you know, something that I think would look better if they were a little taller. That's my personal opinion. But I'm open to suggestions on that. I also think that something that encloses it provides clearly sufficient access for continued maintenance of it and provides buffers around the edges so that, you know, sufficient buffers so that they can operate around the pollinator garden as much as possible. I mean, I think that I would ask for input from our friends at the Green Team, naturalists, naturalist side, to figure out exactly where you would place these. But I mean, I like the project, something that I've been looking for some time. I appreciate what you've done. Council, any input or thoughts?
I'll second what the mayor spoke about the height, because I know I got a 6-year-old at home that even though it's on a slant, she'll still think that that's a balance beam more than anything else. So yeah, I would from that angle, I would recommend to make it a little bit higher. Yeah, make it
This rail's probably about 30 inches, would that do?
I think that's better. Don't, I mean, like, it doesn't have to be, you know, at the waist level, but I just think that it has to be in the timeline.
Right, as soon as possible.
When do you need to have it? Please?
I need to have it started by the 3rd of February.
No, when do you need to have it completed?
Oh, the 17th of February.
Okay.
be taken post by hand and pulled around.
Keep these,
Yeah.
These more angry rains coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would suggest that you do is that Drew, why don't you have a seat real quick? Yeah, I would. And what I would suggest is that yourself, Borough Clerk, Mrs. Sprouse, and representatives from the Green Team would sit down and discuss how this would work. Okay, in another meeting, not tonight, we're not gonna do it right now. But in a short period of time, that provides you the opportunity so that you can begin and complete your project in a timely fashion, because you are trying to achieve Eagle Scout status, correct?
Yes.
And this is a requirement at this project, correct? For a project. I think, and maybe Mr. Woods is the rep to the Green Team. I don't know if you want to be involved in this. Okay. I think that if we can set up that meeting, I mean, conceptually, I'm comfortable with this as council. If you're comfortable with moving forward with something like this, I think, you know, Mr. Spraza, and are you okay with this? Yes, Ms. Browns?
Yeah.
Okay, assuming that we consider all of the concerns present from the Green Team and make sure
Yeah,
we can do that.
any concern about the Green Team or the garden club?
I guess my only question is, I think at the outset, Ron's, Carrie Metzer, 201 Z, Kings Avenue, Ron's the brainchild of this project, and I just think it's a wonderful project. I think it's wonderful the work we've done and understand the need to find these spaces. In my mind, I thought it was an evolving project and that there was a possibility that over time these could grow. And maybe even at some point be a contiguous pollinator, garden. So I guess that's the one reason defining the space kind of concerns me a little bit. I am happy that you're not putting them in concrete.
Right. That's what.
So, you know, it could be another project.
Yeah, that was expand.
So that was your thinking and not putting them in concrete so that you could make changes down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just have one more comment.
Just make sure it's recorded.
That's just a minute again, just
I,
dark, full, we do that. I always feel like I'm in school here. I just want Ron to be involved, and I know his schedule is really tight, and I know your schedule is really tight, so, maybe we'll try and, figure out how to do that. Because he really is the person who spearheaded this whole project, and I feel like he needs to be involved, and that's why I wanted to speak for him tonight.
sure, yeah, but again, I think, that's important. I know in Ron's letter, he thinks that there's some big planning that's occurred. We just found the plans. They just presented them to us. We hadn't seen anything, believe me. It was totally conceptual.
I think he
before
was
next.
just frustrated he couldn't be here, so, that's where that came from.
Understandable. We'll do what we can to merge the needs and wants of the borough and the needs and wants of Ron and needs and wants of Mr. Spanier to get this project completed. So, I think we can accomplish that. So, council, I'll accept the motion to move forward with this, with all of those caveats, the meetings and whatnot.
I will make a motion to approve based on subsequent meetings with the green team and the Scouts here.
I have a motion.
Sounds like the Scouts, I'm sorry, it's not okay.
No, I don't know who is available. We will do that offline. We have a motion in a second, to move forward with this as Mr. Woods, presented, all in favor? Opposed, abstentions, thank you. Mr. Spain. Mr. Woods will get in touch with you, Mrs. Grouse, and we'll get this moving. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So I don't think I ever closed the public portion of the meeting. If anyone wants to come forward and speak on any other topic, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. All right, hearing none, we'll close the public portion of the meeting. We'll move on to the engineer's report. Mr. Lees, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Move this to the side somewhere.
Home straight over.
I'm not gonna be showing.
Don't climb on top of it, it's not advanced.
So the 320 project is reaching a conclusion, we should be done shortly. Building's going to look much better. The roofing material is on order, permit has been made, the permit has been received. The material scheduled to come in end of January, and then we'll start construction. We have a pseudo pre-construction meeting with the next week, we'll get that kicked off. So as the structure start to leave, we'll office minutes together. Well, I have any like to ask that information related. We established and if the council approves the GIS proposal, we'll prepare you some.
And that's requirement, the MS4 requirements, what's the deadline for those?
It's the end of actually next year.
25.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions, council, for Mr. Lees? Thank you very much. Correspondence.
I don't have anything on
Okay, so correspondence, council reports, first meeting into the year, so everyone kept the same groups, and I'm sure everybody's reorganized and hasn't met yet. Mr. Woods, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Your Honor. From Commercial Shade Tree, they will be meeting this Thursday at 7 o'clock. One of the things that is being considered is under the municipal stormwater regulation that was enacted. It's been 2 years since that was enacted. The borough is required to adopt a tree removal and replacement ordinance. There is a model that we have to meet or exceed. The basic overview of what it requires is that if a residence remove a tree on their property of a certain diameter, that we would require a replacement. So, well, the shade tree of the past couple meetings has met to discuss this. I had a conversation with Mr. Higgins, who said that other towns have been working on this. I believe we have to have something in place by March, so I intend to bring something before council at the February meeting. Before I move on to the land uses, are there any questions there?
No, I know Cherry Hill has an ordinance that they adopted last year. It was very controversial. It was more dealing with the fact that there were certain clear cutting incidents that occurred.
I think that's more extensive.
CNG and others who were developing there, and they had nothing in place, but there is a requirement, there was some sort of fee associated with taking the tree down in that ordinance. So, yeah,
I don't believe there's penalties imposed under model
Right.
ordinance, it's just.
Replant.
So, I mean. That
I wonder if there's a way to write the ordinance so that you could create a form of trust that rather than submit a fee instead.
I believe the ordinance that I provided to Mr. Woods has that provision.
Okay.
So we'll be discussing it again at Thursday's meeting, but I just wanted to put it on council's radar that that's something. But
Why don't we, do you think you'll have an ordinance or a draft ordinance in place by the next meeting on the 22nd?
I think it's right.
We'll put it as a discussion item then, so we can talk sort of in depth at the meeting on the 22nd about that.
That's all from Shade Tree. Also tomorrow, the Joint Land Use Board will be holding their first meeting of the year to reorganize and also to consider the year-end resolution from this past year. Just so council, maybe of interest to council, this past year we had 6 meetings with 2 zoning variance applications and 1 use variance which was withdrawn, but that was the extent of the activity of the land use board. And that's all I have unless there's any questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Woods, Ms. Raps.
Commercial Diversity Committee has yet to hold their reorganization meeting. What we do have plans is that they're going to be supporting the commercial PTA and the DEI committee with their Martin Luther King Day of Service School next Monday, which is the 15th. There'll be like food collection and so much for. I believe the meeting is supposed to be next Tuesday, but I haven't had a confirmation if we're gonna be the time of Monday, we're gonna figure.
Okay. And is the diversity committee still looking to do a day of service at some point?
I know that we've had some bidders, teaming up with another organization, we do an activity later on, we didn't want to do something like that because of weather. Been a problem in the years that have happened, it's something that we, kept out about doing the election for maybe the veterans, to do, donations for the VA hospital, but that's all in the first we decided.
Any questions? Mr. Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Your Honor. Start with Board of Ed. They did meet last week for their reorganization. Did pick a new president, vice president. The president is Ms. Herron. So congrats to her and the vice president. OEM, I have not had a chance to meet with Detective Callaway. That's kind of has been noted in a few prior meetings. The police department is still running a little short-handed. They've had to press the detective to do a little bit more street work than would be normal. We're fully staffed, so allowing some time to get that organized before we lay out the next year's worth of working goals for the OEM. DPW have received a report on the people end of things. One of our trash trucks is suffering from hydraulic leak along one of the top 4 lines. Instead of patching it, they're gonna be looking to replace all four of the hydraulic lines all at once, and then one swan goes, usually the rest follow in short. Diesel pickup has had a new body installed, and the motor on that one is good for another, couple hundred miles, but the body was rotted out. Similar situation with one of the dump trucks, internally it's good, the body's been destroyed just through the work that's been done to it, so we're looking to extend life on that. From the tree maintenance end of things, from the priority one list, it's been stated that approximately 51 trees have been removed from that priority one list. Trash collection continues work. We know there's been a couple of mishaps there. They are still working through having their new supervisor. We are keeping a close eye on that and letting folks know if there's any issues to reach out to. Leaf collection has started. The community center's already been gone through once. They'll be back around to hit that again after, Roll Park is in the process now. And there was some money left over, so we're gonna be looking at, bringing in a couple part-timers on Saturday when we need it, if, we start to fall behind there. With, all the news of snow and ice and rain and everything else coming down the road too. Also verified on the snow plows, salt brine spreaders are all, prepped and ready to go. We have a storm's worth of salt brine, also in reserve. For the couple, we'll be meeting on the second Thursday, Commercial Business Professional Association will be hearing about a meeting scheduled for the year coming up soon-ish. Yeah.
Meet tomorrow. Thanks.
Okay, all right, and, that is all I have for this evening.
Questions for Mr. Fitzgerald? All right, thank you very much, Mr. Strauss.
Yes, Your Honor, Virgil Fire Department responded to 13 calls. The borough, eight in the borough, 2 Pennsylvania, 2 Camden, 1 Citizen, I did not get any requests sent over from people shades, so I think I don't think our services are that needed. Which is, it's fine, let's work on our volunteers. Nothing with the apparatus, training, we do have 4 personnel that are fire school right now, fire department 1, so it's a good number, to get the funds back up, post-COVID. Working goal, fire prevention, 182 last year, total inspection, 112 re-inspections, 149 certificate inspections, so, that has to be added a few years, since especially COVID, so we're getting back to normal business there. Code enforcement, 279 complaints on the year. I think we don't have a close number for that one. We had 67 resale inspections for the year. Rental inspections, 235 units, 185 re-inspections, 30 change in tenants. So all in all, pretty back.
You know how those numbers compare to what the actual numbers are, what percent means we're getting done. Oh, what's registered?
The register, I think should be about 30. There should be a third every year. I think we hit the third last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we should, which would count for about 20,000 in people in revenues. Got to be changed to the 3-year draw every year, a third, so last year, actually, the numbers moved down, post COVID. A lot of people, so that was the first year that we actually did. Elections, I'm not quite sure, let's say we double check that, obviously, they're not elections.
Right. Very good. Questions to Mr. Stroud? Thank you very much. The only thing I will add is, Mr. Fitzgerald talked about the storms. There is a state emergency in New Jersey tomorrow. We get something out on social media. The wind is apparently supposed to be one of the more damaging parts of this storm, so reminding people to tie things down and bring things in.
It goes over that 5 things.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for council first report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to let everyone know that cookbooks are in. We have extras now for $40 each, and so anyone that didn't get a chance to order it can get them. Then folks still pre-ordering, or we say they can just come in and you can just come in and purchase them. Also, I sent an email out earlier for the elected officials seminar that can be done online. So I'm just gonna keep reminding you to do it.
Get it done.
Get it done, and if you have any questions, let me know. Send me something that says you asked it.
We get a $250 credit
Credit for
from our
insurance,
premiums.
you know, it's for every person that does. There was an operational,
Yeah, remember last year they were switching platforms.
and it's supposed to do that, so.
It's all visitor, but didn't upload, it's on there to sign up for, but you can't access it. So there's still the same.
Can we ask?
Oh, yeah.
There was And get $20 better.
First, no, that's it.
Do we have a list?
We have 5% of our, 5%, yeah,
That-
cap to 5%.
We'll let you guys know if we need
With all of us, we get 5% if you don't do it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but you'll have.
You know,
Yeah, hopefully it happens in the morning light. Same thing.
Alright, I'll check it tomorrow, too. And that's all.
That's all. Okay, thank you. Any questions from the first? Hearing none, community development report?
So Historic Preservation Commission met last week for their reorganization meeting. We are actively looking to fill an empty seat, and hope to have that in place, in time for the next meeting. We are, very busy planning the 150th event, the upcoming History Night, February 29th, and then our big anniversary celebration, in May. If anyone's interested in being a part of that, just let me know, and I can get you all the information you need and to the committees. That's all I have.
And we have more than all of that.
More one on February 9th, from 6 to 8, in the outdoor seating portion of the mountain.
Awesome. Questions of the community development? Okay, hearing none, CFO's report, there's no report this evening, old business, I don't have anything, this evening, new business, use of facility for spring fest.
So the Niagara Fire Company is seeking to partially shut down the area of Chestnut alongside Blue Monkey for a beer and wine tasting. They're entitling Spring Fest. That it would be closed from 12 p.m. to 2300 p.m. And they're expecting a crowd size. I was trying to figure out whether it was being 2400 a.m.
Sorry about the late.
There it is.
They're expecting a crowd size of 500. And I will entertain moving to approve.
I have a motion, second, all in favor? Opposed, abstentions? Thank you very much. They did submit a plan, it's been signed off on by all the relevant departments and agencies here in the borough. Okay. We have two items, for resolutions this evening, we read by consent agenda, is there any objection to reading those by consent agenda? Okay, first is the resolution 24-20, payment certificate 2, for Borough Brick Building and Roof Project. And resolution 24-21, authorization for professional services to provide stormwater GIS, system, which is what Mr. was discussing, before, which is the S4 requirements that was the New Jersey DEP. Do I have a motion to move those resolutions?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Woods first, Mr. Fitzgerald the second. Roll call please.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Ms. Morales. Yes. Mr. Sparata.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Next, we have an ordinance, for introduction and first reading this evening, that will be considered for adoption at the public hearing to be held on the February 12th council meeting. Ordinance 2401, model ordinance to exceed municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Do I have a motion to introduce that ordinance?
So second.
Mr. Woods with the first, second, Mr. Fitzgerald. Any discussion on introduction of ordinance 2401? Hearing no discussion, closed discussion, roll call please.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Ms. Morales. Yes. Mr. Sparata.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Next, we have the financial reports.
I'd like to make a resolution, make a motion to introduce resolution 24-22. In the amount of $879,514.19.
Okay, we have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion, Mr. Sparta, second, Mr. Woods, any discussion on the bills? Hearing none, roll call please.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Ms. Morales. Yes. Mr. Sparata.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Okay, any other announcements? announcements, I will entertain the motion to go into private session and discuss matters of litigation, I think council will. Make that motion. Second. The motion, Mr. Sprouse, the second, Mr. Fitzgerald, and all in favor? Opposed? Thanks, we will not be taking any action after, coming out of private session. Thank you. everyone.
Hi. You graduated nursing? What's that? She's up at Northeast.